children, it is me again. Guess who I have to read from today? It is Elizabeth and Larry, and this is by Marilyn Sadler. It's another fun book. I think they're all fun books, don't you? I love to hear the stories. I hope you do too. Are you looking forward to hearing this story? Let's get started. See what's up with Elizabeth and Larry. Here's a picture of them. Elizabeth and Larry were old friends. Elizabeth was 62 and Larry was pushing 40, so they're both kind of up there. See Elizabeth and Larry? It says they've been friends for a long time, and they're both getting older. 40 isn't so bad. Elizabeth met Larry for the first time many years ago. He was delivered to her by mistake with a box of oranges she ordered from Florida. Elizabeth decided to keep Larry, and she gave him a room above the garage. She put the oranges in the refrigerator. So here we go. See, there's the box of oranges that she received Larry in. So it sounds like Larry came from Florida. Larry loved his new home. His only complaint had to do with the size of the pool. Every day, Elizabeth and Larry went walking. Larry was always drawn to the zoo. He was fascinated by the unusual exhibits. Let's take a look. So here we got Larry in the bathtub, and that's the pool that he's complaining about the size of. I'd like a bigger bathtub too. That'd be fun. And there he is at the zoo, and what's he looking at? He's looking at other alligators, but they're not like him. They're behind a fence. All right. On sunny days, they went to the beach. Larry taught Elizabeth how to float. He also taught her how to dive for fish. So here's Elizabeth and Larry at the beach, and Larry has taught her how to deep dive and catch a fish. That kind of sounds like fun. Everywhere they went, people stared at them. Elizabeth thought it was because everyone wanted a friend like Larry. Then one day she found out it was because no one liked Larry. This was the first time Larry realized he was different. Up until then, he had assumed he looked like Elizabeth. So Larry didn't know he was different. And now he's kind of, can you see he's kind of feeling sad because people are making him feel different. And up till that time, he just figured he was just one of Elizabeth's friends, just like her. So, as the years passed, Elizabeth and Larry spent less time out and more time alone at home together. They talked for hours over tea and told each other things they had never told anyone. Sounds like a good plan, because she still needs to be friends with Larry. It just, who cares about anybody else? There they are, they're just hanging out at home and they're about to have some tea. That sounds good. They loved to play cards. Although Elizabeth preferred Old Maid, Larry's game was poker. Larry was a big help around the house, too. There was nothing he loved more than vacuuming. Sometimes he dumped potting soil on the rug on purpose, just so he could clean it up. All right, so I'd kind of like to have somebody at my house that loved vacuuming, because the dogs shed a lot. Especially right now, they're losing their winter coat, so it's a lot. And when Elizabeth had knitting to do, Larry held the yarn. It was the least he could do in return for the leg warmers. So Elizabeth, it looks like, is knitting Larry a pair of leg warmers. Do you see those on his leg right there? They look kind of like socks, but they don't go all the way to the feet. Whenever Elizabeth and Larry did go out, Larry went in disguise. He did not like wearing Elizabeth's clothes, but people seemed to like old ladies better than they did alligators. Once, while they were out walking, a man tried to take Larry's pocketbook. What do you think? Do you think that's a good idea to try to steal a purse from Larry? I don't think so. He may have little hands, but he has a big mouth. But he changed his mind. Then one day, some of Elizabeth's relatives came to visit. She had not seen them for many years. Larry was surprised to see how much they looked like Elizabeth. So this is what happened when the pickpocket man was trying to steal Larry's purse. He changed his mind when he saw Larry open his mouth. I would too. Sounds like I have a visitor at my door. They were very nice to Larry, but Larry did not feel like part of the family. He wanted to look like Elizabeth too. So here's all the family visiting. There they are. After that, Larry was not himself. He boiled water for tea, but forgot the tea bags. He went without his hat or his pocketbook. He's feeling a little sad because he realizes that he's not like Elizabeth. He didn't even try to get rid of the old maid when they were playing cards. Elizabeth had never seen Larry so sad, but she had known Larry for many years, and she knew what was wrong. Larry was tired of being different. He wanted to be with the alligators. There is Larry feeling sad. He was fine until he started feeling like he was different from everyone. So it was quite sadly decided that Larry would return to Florida. Elizabeth took Larry to the airport and bought him a one-way ticket home. Everyone was staring at them when they said goodbye. Isn't that sad? There's Larry and Elizabeth. Can you see them over here? They're saying goodbye. That's sad because they've been friends for such a long time. I bet they both felt pretty sad. After that, Elizabeth was not herself. Every day she sat at her window and waited for letters from Larry. Larry wrote to her often, but it was not the same. Even his phone calls did not comfort her. Everyone who knew Elizabeth had never seen her look worse. What you need is a cat, they said. I don't think the cat's gonna be her friend in the same way Larry was. But what Elizabeth really needed was to be with Larry. So one day Elizabeth sold her house and bought a one-way ticket to Florida. She also bought some mints, a magazine to read on the plane. So she decided enough was enough. She's going to move to Florida to see Larry. It's actually a really good idea. When Elizabeth arrived in Florida, Larry was there to greet her. They agreed they would never part again. Elizabeth loved her new home. Her only complaint had to do with the size of the pool. There she is. See, she sees Larry at the airport. So they're together again, which is wonderful. It wasn't quite large enough. You want to know what's wrong with the pool now? Look at the pool. The pool wasn't large enough because it's full of alligators. They're all playing in the pool. Would you want to play in a pool full of alligators? It looks like they're having fun. I mean, it truly does. I think I might be a little scared. So that's the end of our book of Elizabeth and Larry. I hope you enjoyed this one. Have a good day. God bless you.